Hi guys, welcome back to LastHumansTech. Today I'd like to show you a very simple for loop, and that for loop within the script will also include an if statement also. So first off, we want to see where we're at. We're in the scripts directory, and notice we have something called an IP list in here. This is just a file with some IPs that I listed, and let's look at it using the cat command, how you see the contents of a file. There you simply see 3 IPs, right? Nothing too fancy about that. So I wanted to show you that list before we start here. Now we're going to start creating our script number 3. And again, we're using the VI, which is a text editor. So use the VI command, and that's going to open it up and allow you to start creating your script. Now the first line of your script is generally the path to your shell. So like all my other scripts, this is where we're going to start. Now we're going to add a for statement. So for Z, now Z can be any letter at all. You're just kind of declaring a variable. So for Z in a certain output. So what we want to do is create a command sequence such as this. So with those backward quotes, it is going to take the results of that entire command for Z. So you have to put it in those backward quotes or it's not going to do it correctly. So what that's saying is for each line in my IP list, I want you to do something. So let's go ahead and start our do sequence here. So for each line, for each IP, let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to ping the IP, right? And you put a $sign in front of that Z now because you declared Z up above and you're referencing it down below. So we're saying we're going to go through that IP list. We're going to ping every line. Now we want to go a little deeper and tab in further to make an if loop, right? And we're going to say if a certain thing happens, I want you to do this. So we're saying ping this IP, and what we're going to say is if the exit status, remember, $question mark is your exit status. And what that is, when you type that on any command line, it'll tell you the results of the last command run. If it's 0, it was successful. If it's 1, it failed. If it is 2, then it was an incorrect syntax somewhere in the command. So what we're saying here is if the output status was not 0, meaning it was not successful. So if it was successful, it's not going to do this next line we're about to type. But if it was not a 0 and successful, then let's have it tell us. So we're going to go echo, one of these IPs is not pingable. And it's going to tell us that then, right? So after that, you're going to close your if statement with an FI. It's just if spelled backwards, really. It's an easy thing to remember. And after that, we do have to close our do loop also. So you close that with the done command, okay? So now we have our script made. Let's go over it one more time real quick. So for each line in my IP list, I want to do a certain task. I want to ping each of those lines. If any of those lines are not pingable, then I want you to tell me one of these IPs is not pingable. And it's going to go through each line with that for loop until it has no more lines to go through, and that will complete the script. Now we do need to address some permissions here. So you can see that script 3 does not have execute permissions. So what we want to do is something like this here. Remember, we're going to, actually, let me do add execute to the user. There we go. And now you can execute as this user. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. Let's try running this script. Remember, I'll use a dot to say in the current directory I'm at. I want to run this script, and all you do is type the script name. Let's see what happens. All right. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and look at this here, just underneath it to review. So what the script told us was all 3 of these IPs are alive. By the way, these IPs are Google, Yahoo, and Facebook. And so it did print that because it gave you the output of the ping command, which normally tells you if it's alive or not. And since they are all alive and they were all successful, we did not see the sentence that one of them is not pingable. So that is, in a nutshell, a pretty simple way you can use the for loop, and it would just go through any particular file and go through line by line, doing a certain task that you want it to do. And you could get more complicated, including the AWK command into a more robust file if you really want to get certain pieces of the file. But for this example here, we're just taking a whole line one by one. That is a simple definition of the for loop. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching LastHumansTech.